Well, this is Baruch Fleischman, and this is the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. And today we're looking at the ultimate connection with God, the 7-step guide to Jewish spirituality, written by the very holy Rabbi Yosef CHAIM MIMRAN. These are practical guides, little lessons on how to pray, how to prepare yourself for prayer, how to clear your mind, so that you can make the connection that you need without the outside influences. Let's come over here to the next page that we're going to be learning. I'm going to bring us down here to reality and take a look over here. We have this topic. It says it's part 7. 7 says awareness turns pain into joy. Now, all throughout this book, it seems to me that Rabbi MIMRAN has been teaching us to be able to look at ourselves and look at our emotions. And he's saying that the looking itself is a product of the higher self, of our higher self. Being able to look at what's going on in our minds. Being able to see what we're trying to accomplish or why we are reacting, or what is, not why, but what our reactions are, to look at them, because that itself is the higher self looking. That's what I think. So he says awareness turns pain into joy. Well, let's understand this, that there's pain in life, because life, as the Torah tells us, is created out of Elokims, which are dinim, our judgments. In order to create something, you have to make, like Stalin said, Chas v'shalom, lahavdil, he said, in order to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. Well, that's the way the world is made and being made all the time, and things break here. And they're not always what we want them to be. So this is the Vekas Hashem is the final and most important goal of all of creation and the purpose of why man was created. So he said we cannot actually fight the emotional ego, which as we have explained, is powered by the Yetzer Hara. So we have, he says, a force within us, which is really to destroy us. That's just the nature of it. It's an animal self, which is hungry all the time. So he says, is powered by the Yetzer Hara. That is, let me read it again. We cannot actually fight the emotional ego, which, as we explained, is powered by the Yetzer Hara, just as we cannot fight darkness, because there is no real substance to it. There's nothing really to fight. Trying to fight the emotional ego will only create inner conflict, which would lead to further pain. It's enough just to watch it. And this is his key idea, is that we have to learn to look at ourselves intellectually, because that higher level of looking at what's going on in our lives is really timeless. Watching the emotional ego implies accepting it. The fact is that we have this as a part of us. You're not going, what he wants to say is you're not going to get rid of, if you like the English word, the Satan that's within inside of you. You can't get rid of it. Allowing it to be part of what it is that at that moment. How can the simple act of watching the emotional ego put an end to its destructive influence? This is a powerful idea that he's trying to say, and he's saying it in many different ways. When you begin to separate yourself and your identity from the emotional ego and become the observer, you're watching the way you feel. The emotional ego will continue to operate for a while, for it already has a certain momentum, like a spinning wheel that will keep turning on its own for some time, even when it's no longer being propelled by an outside force. Similarly, although you are no longer energizing the emotional ego by identifying with it, it will still do what it does and try to trick you into identifying with it again. Oh, that fight, and the different fights and the things that are bothering you and all these things will try to get you right back into that. But then you can come back out, that's what he says, because you can look at it. But like the spinning wheel, that continues to turn, it will eventually stop. Now let's see, it's a little blurb down at the bottom. I get it a little bit lower so we can see it better. He says we cannot actually fight the emotional ego, which is powered by the Yetzer Hara, we said the Satan, that is the force against us, that exists within us, just as we cannot fight darkness. So he says that we have to accept the fact that we are flawed in this sense, that we are not saints, that this exists within us, and be able to look at it. This is the Tikkun Elevator Kol El, and I'm Baruch Flashman.